going on, Jeffrey?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Just kind of been a hectic morning for everyone with speculation and with what's been going on with Shazam 2. But really, I think that's really kind of like a normal day, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's the new norm now, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the new norm, and it's crazy at times, though. Man, so we've got a lot more teases from Zack Snyder, a lot more cryptic hints, making people believe that, obviously this is going to be SnyderCon 2. I don't think that that's up for debate. But, with all this hinting at teasing that he's doing, and it's DC related, it's making people question now. Maybe it could be something a little bit more. We don't know. Shazam! Fury of the Gods has been released, and it is not doing good. It's bombing right now at the box office, and as it sits currently on Rotten Tomatoes, it is certified rotten.
Yeah, because I actually read a tweet somewhere where
release the A or cut.
I read a tweet somewhere that it's like this account that basically covers all the box office everywhere, that kind of does like a live commentary of the box office that's going on everywhere, and apparently as of right now, Shazam 2 did only 4 million in the box office in China, with 2,000 theaters showing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's that bad.
It's that bad.
Yeah, it's that bad.
Jesus, look at it. We've been talking about this. A lot of people wanting to say that you guys didn't show up for Black Adam, and I've always said, man, I would argue that everybody that for the most part, Snyderverse fans did show up for Shazam just to see a 5-second cameo that they waited to the last minute to let people know about. But the problem is just overall, the general audience has been so confused about what they're doing. And a lot of the fans, and not just Snyderverse fans, DC fans as a whole, that are the actual DC fans, a lot of them are just turned off from anything that they're releasing anymore. Anything that has to do with the DCEU, they're like, is it canon? Is it not canon? Is this in Elseworlds? Is it not Elseworlds? Is this Snyderverse? Is it not Snyderverse? And every movie they've been diluting this property overall more and more. And the last 5 DCEU entries, nothing to do with Zack, but the last 5 DCEU, this makes 5 now. Yeah. The last 5 entries have been on a downward spiral, losing the studio. Now we're getting to the point where they're these projects are losing the company money. And this is something that's been happening. Like I said, they've messaged and made it clear with these movies, and I called it, didn't I, Jeffrey? Zachary Levi coming out right before Christmas and making that video, he damaged. This isn't his fault, but whatever people that were on board, they jumped right off the bandwagon when he dropped that video, propping up Walter Hamada, propping up James Gunn, telling people basically, not to basically shut up on Twitter about, the Snyderverse, it's not happening and all that. Basically, he's in his own way told people, basically that it's around Christmas time, relax, and basically enjoy the shit sandwich that we're giving you, that the studio's giving you, and quit being so insensitive. Like I said, I get that the dude meant well in his own way, but that was he needs a PR team, bro. A PR team would have told him, don't do it. Yeah. Do not do it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but this is actually this actually made the rounds like yesterday about about the director David F. Sandberg, who basically replying to a tweet, basically replying to a Redditor, saying I forgot exactly what he said, but he basically said, yeah, he pretty much saw the writing on the wall for the box office, and he pretty much knew that it wasn't going to be a success. But at the same time, he kind of made a joke about it, like, "Hey, I got paid up front." So he kind of like made a joke out of it. But yeah, David, the director, even saw the writing on the wall when it came to the box office.
Right, and this is the problem with the studio, guys. We'll get back. After that, we get through this section, guys. We're gonna get into the good stuff, the Zack Snyder stuff, the positive stuff, the hype, and all that. And this is the problem, okay? So even the creatives involved have seen the writing on the wall for some time, but the executives haven't, or they just don't care. I really find it hard to believe at this point they cannot afford to not care anymore. And my thing is that, you chopped Batgirl up and gave it, the cutting board treatment. So if that was the case, like I said, this is Levi and Gunn and the old regime are all responsible for what is happening. Gunn's responsible in the sense that he came out, didn't think through exactly what he was doing, and he waited until there was a trend for release the Ayer cut to come out and say, hey, I'm in charge now. Yes, I'm in charge, but I'm just telling you guys right now, I'm chopping the whole DCU right in half. I'm getting rid of the Snyderverse. He basically talked down the size of the movement, and that, he compared it to some other Twitter event that was going on that would have like 4,000 tweets or something like that.
If I'm correct, he compared it to the Legends of Tomorrow campaign that was happening then.
Which was a teeny tiny group of fans. Now that's a teeny tiny faction, okay? That's the vocal minority. And I think they're starting to see that all these years they keep saying the vocal minority. Well, if you don't need the fans, then why do your movies keep tanking? Because here's the problem. Besides, it's not just us. I mean, the DC fans obviously play a large role, as they can see, much larger role in the box office than what they were liking and able to admit. But it's also the general audience. Just think about this. All this time that they are pulling all this shit they're pulling, they didn't realize, but I think that they are now, that you're also alienating the general audience. You know how hard it is to keep up with this shit? If you're not someone like me and you that's passionate and a fan, to keep up with this movie's continuity because of this, but this movie's not. This movie is playing Justice League continuity, but this movie's not. This movie's been reshot from top to bottom, but we got Henry Cavill in here, but we don't know if it's Snyderverse. It might be Snyderverse, but this isn't. And this movie, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then on top of that, these end credit scenes go nowhere because they don't know what now they know that they're going to reboot, but leading up to this, all the end credit scenes have went nowhere, even the ones in Justice League, So it's like the general audience doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what direction they're taking this in. They don't know what's canon, what's not canon. They don't know what they can see and what they can skip. And all they see is, go ahead, Jeffrey.
And that's really the thing too. Like, this was really the confusing part for me. Like, I saw a tweet of someone of an insider basically saying what he's heard, and he even said that with quote full transparency, even I'm confused with what I've learned. So, like, apparently from him, and this is from Daniel RPK, and he's a pretty spot on with everything when it comes to just DC in general. But he basically said that Peacemaker is canon, some of it 2016 is canon, but some of it isn't, and all of James Gunn's Suicide Squad is canon.
Yeah, And then, like I said, the biggest thing was Gunn coming out and picking the worst time to come out. He came out. I mean, think about this, Jeffrey. If his Superman movie isn't going to be ready for 2 more years, right?
Yeah.
Then why did you come out and tell everybody what your grand plan was before the last slate of movies come out that you need to make money off of? That it's not just 1 project, 2 project, 3. You're talking 4 big blockbuster projects that are leftovers. Granted, yes, they are leftovers, and it's not on Gunn for the most part. He didn't create them. He didn't greenlight them. I understand that. But you're in charge of DC now. You are an executive, and you cannot, as an executive in good faith, do something that's going to cost your company millions more. See, and that's the problem. He come out and he told everybody, and he's been trying to walk it back in his own way ever since, that it does not matter if you see the rest of these movies. Not to mention the general audience isn't showing up because they have confused the living hell out of them for years.
Yep.
And and you know what? And to all these big talking heads and social media influencers and YouTubers and shit that say, well, DC fans largely doesn't really matter. They don't pay for the, okay, whatever. The general audience is a big portion though. And you got to understand, me, you, and them guys, we know what's going on. And even us, it's confusing as hell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think your general audience is thinking? They're thinking, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what movie they're going to release next, because leading up to this point, they just greenlight random ass projects no one asked for and throw it at the wall and hope it sticks. And then all the end credit scenes on all the last 5 to 6 movies have went absolutely nowhere. The continuity is different to every movie. This movie is in DCU, but it's continuity to this, but not this, or this. And vice versa for every movie that comes out. And then now you're telling everybody you're pulling the plug. I don't know. It's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's like they're cherry picking what's canon now. It's like they're cherry picking what's canon now, and it's like so confusing. Like I never seen someone say, "Oh, is it canon? Some of this is canon, and some of this isn't canon." That happened in this movie. So that's like saying, you know what? I ate a sandwich, and that's canon to the Suicide Squad. But I punched someone in the face in Suicide Squad, but that's not canon. It like doesn't make any sense. Like it's like the movie needs to be canon. It's like the entire movie needs to be canon, but not just a specific scene that needs to be canon. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
And I absolutely see the only movie that I see standing a chance in hell is the Flash movie for 2 reasons. 1, Ezra's Flash is a direct and main cast member of the Justice League that Zack casted and created, regardless of the fact that they're going to probably give us another soft reboot of his character in this movie, no matter what version we get in what multiverse. But because of that fact, and because of the fact that they're playing heavily off the nostalgia of Michael Keaton's Batman, I see this movie doing the Batman numbers.
Yeah,
not phenomenal over the top, but I don't see this movie losing them money. I could be wrong, but every other project, I think this is a clear sign they're doomed.
Yeah,
it is. It is, bro. It is. But how y'all doing today, man?
Hey, how you doing, Brandon Pittman? What's up, brother?
It's good, man. Man, I kind of feel bad for you, man, because your boy David Ayer. It seems like kissing ass to Gunn, man.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. It's heartbreaking, man. But he is fighting. He is fighting though. Recently, he has been coming out and being super vocal and in his own way fighting again for the Ayer cut. But I hope that all this, only thing that I can say, because I don't want to come down on him too hard. The dude's genuinely a good dude. He just, he's trying to walk that fine line of not picking a side and just trying to also do what's right. But this softball shit, like I've said, I've been very vocal about. I don't think this softball shit that he's playing with these assholes is going to pay off. But let's just hope the fact that he's been confident enough recently, right before Zack started tweeting about whatever the hell's going on with SnyderCon, obviously SnyderCon 2, But hopefully, wherever the hell Zack's hitting at, hopefully Zack's David Ayer, hopefully it has something that with him getting all piped up about the haircut, hopefully that it works hand in hand with whatever's going on with Zack in some kind of way. That's the only thing we can hope for. That, or we hope that he really is that good of friends with Gunn, and Gunn's literally going to release the movie when he feels like it. As long as the damn thing gets released, then I'm good with that. And then we can move on from that, because Gunn ain't going to let him take that universe no damn where. If he does release it, it's dead in the water, because he's taking the characters David made, and it's basically a trade-off to David. Like, hey, thanks for these characters. They're mine now, and you gave me your blessing and all that shit. But you know what? Here, you can have this crumb over here, which is the haircut, and I'm going to take this, and we out. Peace. But you know what? I'll take that. If we get the haircut to us, that's going to fill in a tremendous piece that's missing between BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League of continuity and in a raw performance from Jared Leto's Joker that we've been needing to see for way too long now. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, man, but I was just like, I thought about you, really. I was looking at the podcast
I know.
of the four nerds, and one of the guys was very upset with that tweet he had made. And I was shaking my head like, man, I wonder what Strong Arm thinking about, man, because I'm like, that Strong Arm boy right there. I'm like, he just, it's a fine line between becoming a good soldier,
right?
But it's kind of making you look like you kissing ass, though, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and that's really the thing too. Like, I really don't blame him. Blame him completely in that sense, because we know that he's been in the military, and we know that we know that he has that military background. Trying to
shout out to all them that came from that's in the military or that's ex-military, man. But I understand that mindset. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I just wish he never would have went that route, man, because you losing your integrity and your self-respect when you made that tweet, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe I'm looking at it from a different way.
Which one? Maybe I missed it. I've seen most of them.
Man, I wish I could find the link. I'm kind of working on the logo.
Right, I was gonna say we can hop over there and check it out.
Yes, the latest one he had did about regarding James Gunn.
See, I probably wouldn't like it too much, but like I said, I mean, I just think that he's being naive, because honestly, if James Gunn was going to release the haircut, why hasn't he done it yet? Why hasn't he put up a date? Like, hey, you can go ahead and tell your fans, David, put out this blanket statement with just a date sometime next year, that could shift, just to let them know that it's been greenlit. They can quit bothering me, because I don't want to deal with their asses, and I can fulfill my promise to you instead of stringing you along. Because it really feels like he's just trying to soak up all the, and convert all the fans that are willing to, and he's willing to use David Ayer like a pawn or a puppet. It's almost like it seems like. I'm not saying they're not friends outside of Hollywood, outside of work, because to them this is their job. To us, this is entertainment. I've always said that.
Yeah.
This is their livelihood. I get that. But what I'm saying is that all this time so far, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't greenlit anything. So what is he going to do? Wait and see if his shit's successful in 2 years from now? Because if you're talking about we're supposed to wait 2 more years for Gunn to even greenlight this damn thing, then it ain't happening.
Yeah, and that's really the thing too. Like, let's go back to the 2 years thing real quick. So that means, we know that 2023, that this year is full of stuff. Right now we have Shazam 2, and then we have The Flash. Then on August we have Blue Beetle. Then I think December we have Aquaman 2. But for 2024 we have nothing. So that would be the perfect place to put the haircut in.
Yeah, but I think that, I don't mean to cuss on your podcast, but I mean, I think James Gunn is just full of shit. He ain't gonna I doubt it if he gonna do something like this.
He has. Think about this, man. He has absolutely, with David being so cryptic about, because he hasn't just straight up. There's a reason why he hasn't just straight up said that, Gunn said flat out he's going to release the Ayer cut, but he needs a little time because he's busy, there's a reason why he ain't coming right out and saying James Gunn has greenlit the Ayer cut, because James Gunn hasn't. I'm sure that off duty, off work, eating somewhere, having a beer and a burger, maybe him and James, because they hang out outside of work, maybe James told him in that capacity, but there's a lot of legalities to this. And if that's the kind of setting that James said something, and that's the reason why he's not being more vocal about exactly how this is going to happen, because all this time that he's spending just having blind faith in this, man, if it don't happen, you're going to waste years of time that you could be fighting to get that cut released alongside your fans while the iron is still hot. And that's going to be detrimental to getting that movie released. If it, because what if Gunn comes out, with his Superman movie in 2 years and that mofo bombs? Because you're talking about someone who's going to write and direct it. People said that, Man of Steel was what do they call it? Where they said it was split down, the audience was split down the middle on it initially or something before it grew on them. Yeah. So how do you think a movie's going to come off when James Gunn is directing and writing something like that, and you got shit like Peacemaker elements in a Superman solo movie with a new character that's not well known or liked yet? I don't see him pulling it off at this trajectory without a big name actor to draw in a crowd.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I said that, I'm not saying like I have low faith in the Ayer cut, but I'm talking about you dealing with a guy like David. Not David. I get James Gunn. With a guy like James Gunn. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're dealing with a guy like him, and you don't know for sure if he really mean what he say about he's going to bring out the Ayer cut like he lied about the Ben Affleck situation. And Ben Affleck just came out in the article and said that I don't want to have nothing to do with this universe. So that's what he's saying in that article.
And if I'm correct, and real quick, if I am correct, James Gunn actually said with his own tweet, like someone can actually find it somewhere. Like I actually remember someone screenshot it. And he actually described as Ben Affleck as being, quote, a architect for his DC universe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, he did that. I forgot what article that came from with Ben Affleck, but because I saw the article and I'm like, man, he just came out and say like he's not directing nothing with them or nothing. So it's like
respect to Ben Affleck.
Say it again.
Respect to Ben Affleck for keeping it real.
Because he wasn't going. Because I think he don't like the ideas that James Gunn them have for this particular universe.
He actually said that in the interview. He literally said that in the interview that he's not interested at all. Like he said, he's absolutely not interested. So
Because I mean, how diverse is it going to be when we've already got the Guardians already got their neat little corner over at Marvel, right?
Right.
So basically, what we're doing is we're just taking everything that didn't work from the Guardians franchise, humor-wise, and we're amping that up time 1,000 and making DC a R-rated version of Guardians of the Galaxy, basically.
That's all it is. Yeah. You pretty much took the words out of my mouth, strong on, because I feel like only thing it is just a darker version of the MCU. That's all it is.
There's no diversity there. That's going to get played out real quick. And on top of that, I think it was a strong indicator when the Suicide Squad came out and it bombed and lost almost $200 million. That I think it was a strong indicator that you haven't won nobody over with this project, because the movie that he was making a sequel to was financially was highly successful.
Yep.
I just don't understand, because I'm like, I just want. I wish I was the fly on the wall when Zaslav made James Gunn the head of DC. I'm like, I thought you was all about being about the trilogy, the Trinity with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and I thought you was gonna really bring back Zack to finish off what he started with the five story arc.
Because
This
here's
guy's
the
gonna reboot the universe. I'm like, I wonder what James Gunn said to this dude.
yeah, like I said, and this is my theory, is that this, to me, this is plain as day, but still, it's a big IMO in my theory. But you know that James Gunn, as soon as he was brought into the studio with the last regime to do the Suicide Squad, that they approached him then to do a Superman movie, lied to us then and said that he wasn't interested, that he wasn't doing it. But all this time in the background, he was taking advantage of the company getting sold out, multiple times, and people being booted. He took advantage of that and slid like a snake. And clearly there's still a couple of people in power at that studio from the old regime that are still acting out on the old regards will. Because they absolutely wanted to reboot, and get rid of Henry Cavill as Superman, and they got their way. We heard that there was Mike DeLuca, Zaslav, and Pamela Abdi. They were trying to have at least one more go around with the Snyderverse, the true Snyderverse, and that's why. And we heard that a while ago. And it would make sense with them initially announcing Cavill back for an unknown DC project, which we all now know was Man of Steel 2. That would make sense why Zaslav came out the gate promoting the Trinity. But then somewhere within them walls, again, there was another war within them walls behind closed doors, and the wrong side won again.
And that's the thing too about this, I keep on going through this, to me, I think David Zaslav, even if you do throw out
Ron McMillan,
even if you do throw out all of, let's throw out all of the DC stuff for a second. Let's throw out all of the DC stuff real quick and go into Scooby-Doo real quick. Because I don't know if you know about this, but there's actually I don't know if you know about this, Brandon, but there were 2 canceled Scooby-Doo movies that were supposed to come out, and one of them is actually fully completed, which is a Scooby-Doo and DC crossover. And that's leaked out. It's fully, completely done. I've seen it myself, and it's actually really good. It really is really good. And
it had the DC characters in it, like Batman and Wonder Woman and stuff like that in it.
Yeah, but mainly there is a Crypto. Crypto is in it. And he kind of plays a big role in that. And there's also Lex. Lex is also in there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there was also supposed to be a Scooby-Doo musical that had the Hex Girls in it. Now, for context, for those who aren't into Scooby-Doo, the Hex Girls are basically a fictional. The Hex Girls are basically a fictional rock band in Scooby-Doo, and they really are a huge fan favorite in the Scooby-Doo fan base. And how far that into production was, they were so far into production that the director actually came out and said the only thing that they needed to do was animate. They had the casting done, the audio done, and all of that, and all that was needed to be done was to animate. And apparently the reason why that movie was shelved into a tax write-off was because Velma was successful, apparently.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like you have 2 you have two Scooby-Doo projects in themselves that that are really good. One I've actually seen myself, and the other is just a really cool idea of a Scooby-Doo musical. But yeah, like you have David canceling things that because of one show that a lot of people hate, but it still did great for HBO Max. And then you have the newest Magic Mike movie that came out that only did $8 million at the box office, which wasn't promoted at all. Like if you like, there.
I remember you saying something about this before.
Yeah, the only promotion for that movie was a poster, and that was it. Like there was only one poster, no release date announcement, just a poster, and that was it. So, yeah, it's like you have David himself making these weird business decisions, not promoting these movies and canceling these projects that on paper sound really good, and it's just really weird as kind of like a leader role, because I too want to talk to him and be like, dude, what are you doing? What is your thought process with these decisions?
Well, and the other thing is too, man, is like I said, they absolutely probably should have axed this Shazam movie way long ago, because I don't know what they're going to do with the rest of these movies. And in fact, let's go look at what the Shazam box office tracking is right now.
Yeah, because it was like Shazam's domestic box office was 30 million, and the worldwide is like 65 million.
Yeah. Everywhere, all over. Shazam, Fear the Gods doesn't fly with moviegoers at 30 million opening. Shazam, Fear the Gods stumbles with 30 million opening weekend.
Can we compare the opening box office numbers for the first Shazam to already?
Shazam. Okay, the first Shazam had an opening of 53.6 million and ultimately grossed 140 million domestically and 366 million worldwide.
So it did 20 million less than the original.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why I said a lot of that is there's two factors that factor into this. There's two factors that factor into this. One, the general audience is confused and the fans have fucking had it, man. They've had it. They've just had it. And for two, that video of Zachary Levi coming out right around Christmas time and flapping his gums, he took a major hit with the rest of the people that were on board that potentially would have went to see it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, and I said this before, like, the first time when we talked about it, like, the placing of the video is very weird. Like I said this in the first stream that it seemed desperate. Now, mind you, this was my first thought, and I said it seems. I didn't say that it is desperate. I didn't say, oh, see, he's desperate, yada, yada, yada. I just said it seems like he's desperate, because at that time I didn't know if it was kind of like that. But now looking at the box office, it kind of did seem like a desperate attempt, like, hey guys, can you guys calm down? just enjoy the movie for what it is and give it a chance. Now looking at it in hindsight, that Zachary Levi video did seem was definitely kind of like in disguise. Hey, give us a chance. We
Well,
need
right.
you to make this be successful. And like I said, I know a lot of people are going to take this out of context, so sorry for repeating myself. But I said at the beginning, at first when I saw that video, it seemed like it was desperate. And now, sadly, and I am saying sadly because I actually do like the first Shazam movie.
Yeah, the first Shazam movie was it's a neat little thing, not my cup of tea, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
That's how I feel about it too as well.
I don't hate the first one at all.
Yeah.
I just my issue is, and the issue has always been Zachary Levi himself. How much better would that movie have the first one done had he not came out telling fans the Snyder Cut doesn't exist, it's not real, right before Shazam came out, and right after, right around that time frame, he started flapping his gums. They need better PR for these. They need a better PR team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I won't be a bit surprised if they don't. They really don't have a PR team right now because they losing money. They losing money left and right anyway. So I don't know how many employees they have over there at Warner Brothers right now.
Yeah.
I was just saying, what up, bro?
Yeah.
Man, bro, I want to get on one of them fucking live streams with you, bro. Maybe,
I say what up.
Hey.
What up?
It's my boy Paycheck.
What's going on?
But yeah,
I get on one of these bitches with you, man. Maybe rap or some shit. All right. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
All right.
But yeah, as I was saying, to me, I've always said that in my mind, it seems like in terms of acting, that Asher Angel, the person who plays as a kid, Billy, is kind of like the better actor in terms of who I prefer, because in Asher Angel you have him being playing a very serious character for a kid, and then you have Zachary Levi being like a 5-year-old for some reason, which I do get. He's a kid, but in terms of what Asher Angel is doing, it doesn't really match.
No. And this was an issue with the first Shazam, but see, that kid was a lot younger then, so it didn't stand out so much. But see, now that it's been all these years later, that kid's a much older. His voice is like Shazam, and now you still got Zachary Levi who acts like a child, like literally a child, and then you've got the child acting more mature than Shazam.
Yeah, and this is something that completely blows my mind. This is actually how deep. This is actually something with that Asher Angel said. This is how deep he went with Billy Batson for the sequel. He actually said that he actually looked up PTSD for this follow-up because he said that Billy has been through so much as a kid. So he's actually taking this role very seriously. And then you have Zachary Levi taking this
acting like he's 7.
Taking this now teenage Billy Batson and this supposed Billy Batson with PTSD, and he's out here joking around and kind of having fun like a 5-year-old. like I said, like it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and the main reason why, because they wanted this movie when it first came out to be a huge contrast to the dark and serious Snyderverse, which everybody had a problem with way back when. But see, the problem is that it doesn't work with what you're trying to do. The whole idea of making a Shazam sequel, knowing that this damn kid was going to be how much older, that's something that's common sense that they knew before they even started filming was going to be an issue. And all they had to do, but see, the thing is they don't want to do that. They're trying so hard to copy Marvel and stick to this Disney-fied, like goofy nonsense. And like I said, the first one was fine like that. But with a follow-up, with the kid now being how many years older, and he's got PTSD and all this shit, and the actor is like that's playing him is giving you more of a mature performance than Zachary Levi's big grown ass. That's an issue now. That's a problem, and I've seen a lot of people that's seen it speak on that.
And that was another guy that ain't really. I used to look at. I forgot that show that he did a while back, way before he was doing the superhero thing. And he was supposed to be playing like an agent. I was looking at that show right when the Snyderverse was about to come, when the Snyder Cut was about to come out, and a little before it came out, and he made those comments about the Snyderverse wasn't real and stuff. So he just turned me off as an actor because I'm like, why would you even speak about it? You're supposed to just keep your mouth shut and just focus on your own movies and stuff. Like focus on the Shazam stuff instead of speaking on something that the fans want to see. I'm like, that didn't make sense. Because you messing up your own movie platform.
Exactly, and the reason why, I think it's no secret anymore, he's real buddy with Walter Amada and all them. You know, so he's on their squad. He said he'd follow Walter Amada to the ends of the earth. You know, basically. So, you know, Walter Amada is basically, you know, in his head, in his ear, and he's up his ass thinking it's going to help further his career. And all he had to do was say, no comment.
That's it. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, but he has all the right he has all the right in the world to believe whatever the hell it is that he wanted to believe at the time.
Yep.
All you had to do was focus on what you were promoting.
That's it. That's all he had to do.
What you have to go off script for and start talking shit, basically, to the fans that you're trying to sell your movie to.
Yep.
You know, then he did it again. He did it, and I don't have sympathy for him anymore. He did it again because when he said that, you know, basically he said the Snyderverse wasn't working, he basically told everybody in a nice way, can you guys just all shut the hell up? It's almost Christmas, and you guys are, you know, bitching and whining and all this shit. You know, you know, and then he also says that Walter Amada is his best friend. He says that, you know, he's Gucci, thinks that he's going to be, you know, in the new revamped DCU. And if he's not, you know, then just enjoy it for what it is. And, like, he just goes off on the oddest rant that I've ever seen. It's like, who put you up to this, bro?
Yeah. It seemed like to me he was just kissing ass for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You just kissing ass just to follow your career. And sooner or later, that's going to backfire on you.
And that's really the thing again. Like going back to the whole Shazam thing. Like I sent you the Seaflame where it was actually behind the scenes footage of Shazam 2, and it was actually revealed that they actually deepfaked Wonder Woman. They actually deepfaked Gal Gadot into the movie. Like they literally did. Like what? Like that. Like it was a. I don't know who that actress was or who that stunt double was, but
because
but it definitely wasn't Gal Gadot.
Yeah, because you want to know why? I seen that too, Jeffrey, and I haven't spoke on that yet. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so they had it revealed. It's on social media. It's on Twitter, right? So this was another headless Superman situation, but with a woman that they casted to be like a body double or something for Gal Gadot. So they casted someone initially that they were going to either use, and in my opinion, and my thoughts are, they were going to either use them and do a headless cameo of Wonder Woman, have her do something but not show her face, and have this woman portraying her, or or they were just flat out going to recast Gal Gadot because they know they fired her. But then last minute, because of the fact that they seen how the box office, because they see how the box office projections are, and they see all the fucking outcry on social media from fans, they're like, oh shit, they got permission last minute, like they did with Cavill, to dub her face, deep fake Gal's face, and have her come in and do some ADR work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is how she's in the movie. That's again for a short scene. Now watch, when this movie don't do good, well, the Snyderverse fans didn't show up for Gal Gadot. Bullshit. Miss me with that.
Yeah. They defaced the actress. They defaced the actress. Put a Gal's face on that woman's body, and she just acted the part and did what she had to do and left. But that wasn't gonna help the movie no way. Y'all, it's like y'all just. You
already told us that you fired them all.
Exactly. So what's the point of putting these old actors from the Snyderverse into y'all movies if y'all ain't gonna bring the Snyderverse? That don't make sense.
Yep, and that's the other thing too. Like, I've actually noticed this, that no one is talking about like I'm gonna make a comparison real quick. Comparison from Henry Cavill and his cameo in Black Adam to this Wonder Woman situation. From Henry Cavill's cameo in Black Adam, you get a lot of praise. Everyone's asking what's going on. We can't wait to see more of Henry Cavill as Superman, yada yada yada. Right? A lot of buzz is generally for Henry Cavill's Superman cameo in Black Adam. Then you have Shazam 2 with the deepfake Wonder Woman with supposedly Gal Gadot, and there's literally nothing. No one's talking about it. So that tells me that a lot of people have wisened up. You can tell that people are now starting to wisen up about this whole situation.
Right. And like I said, I'm just saying, I don't want to hear no one pushing this agenda that DC fans and or Snyderverse fans didn't show up for this movie for Gal Gadot. Because let's point this out, guys. They still won't tell us that Gal Gadot's been fired when we know damn well that she has been. Yeah. Okay, think about this. Why is Gal Gadot not promoting Shazam 2 and her cameo the way that Henry did?
Yep.
You know why? Because she knows that the cameo isn't a true cameo. She knows about the way they went about getting the cameo, and she knows that that Zack's not there, that they fired Patty Jenkins, and that they are trying, the fact that they have scenes of some other broad trying to take her place, whether they ADR dubbed her or deep faked her or not, the fact is, you guys were trying to replace her character, and you told on yourself by them pictures getting leaked.
Yep.
You were trying to replace her. And then we already knew that because of the news. Wonder Woman 3's been canceled. Patty Jenkins been fired. And then Gunn with his bullshit. They've not been fired. We just don't have no projects for them to do. No, that means you fired them, you retard. Nobody's that stupid.
Right. And really, that's the same thing that James Gunn said about Ben Affleck trying to look for a project, we're trying to look for the right project for him, knowing that he wants to do his Batman movie. We all know that he wants to do his Batman movie still to this day. And and you have James Gunn saying, "Oh, we're in talks with him right now. We're just trying to look for the right project for him to do."
Man, that's a load of bull, and that's making me pissed off because how you gonna have the best Batman? I understand people still love Michael Keaton and Christian Bale. I get it, but I'm talking about like visually. You got the best. You got the one of the few actors who look exactly like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
How the fuck you gonna fuck that up?
Yeah.
I'm like, the dude looked like Bruce Wayne from the comic books. It's like he's supposed to have his solo movie, man. How you gonna have the best on-screen Batman ever and not give him his solo Batman movie?
Right, which would have addressed all the criticism that he got in BVS.
Yep.
Which would have fleshed out the story so that people could understand and bring more people on board that maybe weren't going to be before.
Yep.
You know, not to mention
that's Warner Brothers' fault because they was cutting and pasting everything. That was messing with BVS. I'm glad that this is why I wish happened. I wish that Christopher Nolan had his input in everything, so Warner Bros. Wouldn't touch those movies. That's why I wish what happened, like he did with his Dark Knight trilogy and what he did with Man of Steel, because Chris Nolan had his hand in Man of Steel. That's the reason why they ain't cut that movie in pieces and did Frankenstein with that movie because Chris Nolan still had his
Nolan had a lot of influence on Man of Steel, more than people would like to admit at times. Yes, that was Zack Snyder, but Nolan had a big, heavy hand in Man of Steel.
Yep, exactly.
So a lot of people that shit on that movie off rip, that, you know, if they would have knew that Nolan had as much influence over that movie and shaping that movie to be what it was, knew how much influence he had over it, the critics wouldn't have tried to take a shit on that movie.
Yep.
Because that movie was a masterpiece.
It was, and I still love that, even though I like BVS Superman suit better than I do the Man of Steel suit. But as far as the story and how they trying to shape Superman for later movies, I love that movie for what it was. I just wish that Warner Brothers wouldn't even try to think about what Marvel was doing. Let Zack do his Man of Steel stuff and bring in whoever's going to bring in. Now, if y'all want to do a Justice League film, just wait until that Man of Steel movie is done, or his film trilogy or whatever. Because Zack wanted to do a trilogy. He didn't want to do no Justice League and nothing like that at first.
Yeah,
he wanted to do a 3-part movie. Then if he was going to put, like, let's say for instance, like Batman or Wonder Woman in it to introduce Justice League after Man of Steel 3, then okay. But y'all just want to rush into everything instead of going at your own pace. If Warner Bros. Would have been in their own pace and gave Zack Snyder the baton and let him do what he had to do, then everything would have been hunky-dory.
Yep. And that's the thing too. Like going to
James Gunn will fire you and pretend that you want to work in his new universe.
but yeah, like going back to Man of Steel again, like and speaking of the MCU, like I said, like I'm like if you look up YouTube right now and look up Man of Steel reactions, like. And you're not, and you would see people right now making, like, if you actually go to YouTube right now and search up Man of Steel reactions, Man of Steel first time reaction, you'll see like these videos 1 week, a month old, like a week or a month old, and the people and you see these people in their first intros before watching the movie and before they get the reactions going. They say, you know, you'll always hear something along the lines of, I always heard that the DC was bad, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance, and here I go starting my DC universe journey, and they start with Man of Steel, like I said. Then at the end, and as I'm watching these reaction channels reacting to Man of Steel for the first time, I'm seeing them genuinely love Man of Steel.
Okay, I got a question. I see this post by Zodwriter, and he said, if it ain't happening at Netflix, it most likely ain't happening at all. Keep that in mind as some of you keep discounting and belittling our efforts with the eyes wide open emoji. So is Zack Snyder doing a stream right now?
Yes, actually. I got the YouTube notification.
What is it on?
The Nerd Queens. I don't know if he's... Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the Nerd
I forgot all about that. I knew it was going to happen because I was on what's her name? I forgot the girl's name. I be following her too. I forgot her name. But anyway, she was talking about it, and she was saying that they was gonna do a live thing. He was gonna do a live thing with the Nerd Queens and stuff. So, but back to what we but back to what we was talking about. It's just that, man. Those two old regimes done so much damage to the point now. It's like I don't know what's going on.
Part of this, and I think that I can speak for everyone in the fandom who had
guys. I'm looking at Silip Duel's channel right now, and it's live, and it says SnyderCon 2023 details, and it's got the Nerd Queens and Zack Snyder live and somebody else on there.
Right.
Just as they came out, it's
all right. Well, you know what, guys? I want to tune into that and see, because I have a feeling that they're going to be asking him a lot of questions that we want to know the answers to. You guys want to wrap up this live stream a little early? We're almost at the 1 hour mark. You guys want to close out with anything?
Man. I just want to come on and just keep showing y'all love to you, Jeffrey, and to you, Strong Arm, man, because I follow y'all through and through. I just didn't look at the last stream you did, which I missed it. But like I said, man, I was really concerned to see if you was pretty much upset with they had posted on TikTok, man.
I am, man. You know, it's just, you know, I just don't. I'm trying to hope that the dude's got a game plan down and he's not just putting his foot in his own mouth and, you know, digging himself a hole, David, that he can't get out of. I just right now trying to hope and believe that, you know, he knows something we don't. Yeah. And as much as I don't like Gunn, or even the idea of Gunn, even giving the Ayer cut a green light, because it's Gunn.
Exactly.
But
he already got his hand up his ass to the point he ain't finna trying to give nobody a shot to even have a cut or even trying to bring back the Snyderverse. So I don't even see that happening with him.
Well, that and if the Ayer cut comes out and it's fucking phenomenal, I don't want Gunn getting praised for releasing it.
Exactly.
Because, you know, but, you know, at the same time, someone's got to release the damn thing. It's just, it's a sticky situation. And right now I'm just trying to hope that David, you know, knows what he's doing. I guess time will tell. I wasn't really too thrilled about that. He's been kind of walking, I've been noticing for quite some time now, and I have addressed it on here. You know, he's been towing the corporate line or the company line, or however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, for a little bit now, and I don't see how he's benefiting from it in any way when he don't work for them at all. And Gunn isn't going to give him back the Suicide Squad characters now. He's taken the Suicide Squad, which is essentially, you know, Ayer's characters, and he's made them his now, and he's gotten rid of the ones he didn't want and kept the ones he wanted. So, and then he's even killed off some of them in the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Right.
So, there's no way for that to go back There's no going back now. He's done with that. I don't see what you know. I don't see a path forward for him, in my opinion, for David with James Gunn. I really don't.
Yeah, I just really wish that David Ayer would have just talked to him like he's talking to him behind the scenes, and didn't really put out those tweets like that, because you make yourself look like you kissing ass, really. Yeah. So it's like that's a bad move for you. And I understand you trying to be like a soldier in this fight. Yeah. You trying to be a good soldier through this. So I'm like, but like I said again, it's a fine line between being a good soldier and just follow whatever that's going on, or either kissing ass. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna work out the way you planned it, as far as trying to get the air cut out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it's just me personally.
I hope that he proves everybody wrong, and I hope that it works out for him. But if it doesn't, only time will tell. If it doesn't, it'll absolutely be his fault at this point.
Exactly, because that's what the Four Nerds was saying. Because when I was looking at the Four Nerds, it was the guy that's like
I feel the same way.
Yeah, that was like a big Superman fan that was always had his little video in the upper right corner, and he was going like, he's like, man, but I wish he never came out with that tweet. Oh, man, he's making himself like he just kissing a Gun's ass, man. I'm like, yeah, from the tweet I saw that he pulled up from that stream, and I don't know if you watched it or on, but you need to check out that live stream, man.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, man, because I don't know if you can find the tweet right now, but when he tweeted that out, like, he was pretty much saying like, y'all lay off James Gunn, he's a good guy, and blah blah blah. But I'm like, okay, if you're gonna go that route, I just hope he's gonna let you have your haircut. I'm just saying, if you're gonna go that route.
Yeah, I mean, that would be something that could be said if your movie had a release date right now, even if it was in a fucking year from now. But your movie still don't have a release date. Your movie still don't have a green light, and you're just hoping that he's successful, and you're just gonna wave the flag and toot his horn for him for years, and hope that maybe, just maybe, he'll release it. I don't know. I mean,
I just think that David Ayer should have been on the front lines with the fans. He should. That's what he should have been on the side with, instead of just being cahoots with Gunn and or whatever like that. I mean, you could talk to Gunn and see if it's gonna happen, but just having that tweet come out like that, it just making you look like you just trying to kiss ass, and hopefully, you cross your fingers behind your back, and hopefully he'll let you have your haircut. That's what I think is happening right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that's what I kind of think too, but I hope that we're wrong. But right. I mean, I guess we'll see. But all right, guys, we're gonna end the stream out. Thanks. Good luck coming through, Brandon Pittman. And Jeffrey, Brandon Pittman, I'm finna jump over there. If you guys want to join me, I'm gonna jump over there in the chat.
I'm about to go over there too, man. But y'all have a safe night, man.
All right, you too.
All right.
Peace.